Mitchell, what's it like having bragging rights in the family?
It's awesome. Yeah, I knew that was going to get asked. Yeah, right after the game, obviously, I was on my phone texting my family because my sister's fiance, his side of the family, my sister, all went to Georgia, played volleyball there, so now they're Georgia Bulldogs. But I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. This win, it's going to be great. A lot of Thanksgiving, Christmas meals, it's going to get brought up 100%, so it's going to be good.
And then with you just coming back from an ACL, how have you kind of prepared your body for recovery and everything, and how important is that for you this week?
Yeah, obviously, I haven't played this ball this late in the year ever, so obviously that's been a critical aspect, just staying on top of my game, staying on top of my recovery, nutrition, wellness, and all that stuff. So I think I just try to put the right things in my body. That's the number one thing, and also just trying to get the best night's sleep possible. As I'm getting older, I'm only 21, but as you get older, all those aspects really start to actually matter, and what you fuel your body with is really critical. But yeah, just eating right, getting with Alexa, getting with Lando, getting with Rob, just kind of be very open and 100% with how I'm feeling, what I need, and asking what I need to do to kind of make sure I feel my best. So
Mitchell, to piggyback off that, what has the team done to anticipate the extended season to keep you fresh, to keep you mentally, emotionally, and physically prepared?
I'm not going to speak for everybody, but for me personally, when we have time off or time away from this building, I'm making sure I'm time away. I'm not thinking about football. I'm not trying to, watch. I don't really watch football, extra stuff like that. I just try to kind of get away from that and clear my head, clear my mind, just kind of do the things that I like to do, just kind of, decompress. And because, football, this time of year is a pretty stressful thing. So, when you have time to decompress, take the time and do all that stuff. But, yeah, that's what I say. So.
And your point of emphasis in preparing for Penn State?
Yeah, obviously they're a good team. They got this far, they earned it. I would just say that we have this extra time. No school, no finals. It's straight just football now. So we have a lot of extra free time. So I'm just finding myself getting with the young guys and getting the other guys in the room, just to find out and watch more film, find any little tricks, how they kind of play certain personnel, how they attack in pass pro, how they attack in man coverage or whatnot. Just find those little things that maybe during the school year you want to have as much time to find. So just doing that.
Mitch, how do you view this part of the season? Obviously this is what you all prepared for, but now that you're finally part of the semifinal part of the season, the college football playoffs.
Yeah, it's exciting. A lot of people I feel are trying to point it or shift the viewpoint as a pressure element. I don't think it's pressure. I think it's just more exciting. It adds more exciting. It's an exciting element. It's what you worked for the whole offseason. For us, we don't really talk about it though. We just talk about elevating and kind of reaching our full potential. And that just this is just what comes along with that. Winning all these games, getting to this far in the playoffs, and kind of doing that. That's what kind of Coach Freeman kind of preaches, is just preparation and elevating each week. So.
As Freeman earlier, you talked about a lot of different models that he likes to go about, but what's your favorite? What's helping you individually the most at this point in the season? You got the one play, one live.
He's got a lot of sayings. I don't know if I could say some of the ones he says, but. I don't know. I feel just choose hard. He says that one a lot because it just kind of reminds you why you came to this place. It's not an easy place to go, not an easy place to attend. University of Notre Dame is very, very challenging. Obviously, you're playing football at the highest level. You're going to school at the highest level. You compete with those students as well. So it's just all those factors. You're going to school in the middle of nowhere, South Bend. It's freezing. Right now, you walk outside, it's 28 degrees, wind's blowing 40, I don't know, it's freezing. I'm from Ohio. So it's you'd think I'd be that adjusted. No, it's a whole different element here. So just when he says choose hard, it just kind of reminds yourself why you come here. So that's what I'd say, choose hard.
Different element down in Miami as well, man. How's that, anticipation for that type of weather, that stadium, history there?
Obviously, we're playing in the Dolphin Stadium, the Orange Bowl. It's a great atmosphere, I've heard. I've heard that it gets pretty rowdy down there. I've heard from what I've seen from my phone is talking to people, the weather's going to be perfect, 65, 67. I think that's perfect football weather. Nice little breeze. It's an outdoor stadium, right? It's like a little dome with a little square. Oh, so it's outside. So yeah, it'll be good weather, perfect football weather. I'm sure there'll be a lot of blue and gold down there for the Irish. So we travel very, very well. So I think it's gonna be good for us.
All right, we're gonna do one Zoom, okay?
One Zoom.
Yep. That's somebody from Akron on. Brad.
Oh, Brad.
Brad, go ahead with your question, man. You can talk now.
Hey, cool, man. Hey, Medina versus Wadsworth all over again with you and Drew Aller. Just two-part question. Talk to me about what that game was like to play in, and as a former quarterback yourself, assess Drew Aller. What makes him so good?
Well, one, he got us last time we played, but I'm gonna give him a little credit because we did play that game in 2 days. We had a rain delay at halftime, so we played the first half at their place. Rain delay for 4 hours. Came back the next morning and played, and it was just a bad deal. So I'm gonna say they got us on that one. But just from what I've seen, and it's just knowing him for the longest time, just his growth and his work ethic. He's a really good. He's got a lot of heart, and he loves the game of football. And you can see that just with how he's grown as a player. And I admire that. He's a really hard worker. And you can see it translate on the field. You can see him, his progression, how he throws the football, his footwork, and just his toughness. You can see that all on the field. So,
What was it like playing in that game too?
Playing that game? I mean, I was a tight end in that game because I was only a junior when we played. We didn't play my senior year. So when I was the tight end my junior year, I was a little banged up. I was hurt. So, yeah, it was It was fun because just knowing he was a good player. Our defense kind of got after him though a little bit. I remember that. But yeah, I always viewed Medina as our rival growing up because in youth football growing up they always beat us. So I never really got a chance to kind of beat Medina growing up. So when that was the last opportunity to play him, and they kind of got us, I was really kind of frustrated. But playing the game was fun. So.
All right, thanks, Mitch. Bo, how's the chemistry with Riley Leonard evolved over the season?
Oh, man, I feel like it's not just for myself, but for the entire offense. It's just a lot of trust built in. Coming in as a transfer, you really don't know what to expect from a quarterback, especially as a receiver, and I've just grown to trust him more and more each day.
Where has he grown the most?
I just say it's comfort in the pocket, being able to make plays, whether that's running the ball or throwing it to us downfield. We can just trust on him to, get us a first down whenever we need it.
Well, the game against Georgia, I kind of call it the transfer portal game because a lot of you guys, stepped up in pivotal moments. Obviously, it was some team glory there, as you all say, but you, R.J. Ogun, Riley, of course, and then Jaden Harrison.
Yeah.
Talk about that, that camaraderie and you guys being able to step up in big moments, and being the transfer guys.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of why they brought us here. They know we can, go out there and make plays, and we just leaned on our preparation, man. J2, I'm just so happy for him to get a kickoff return like that. It was huge for us, and like I said, Coach Freed, Coach Brown, those dudes, they brought us in. They saw what we were able to do in the past few years in college, and we just had to go out there and execute for them.
I think at this point in the season, every team has a good defense to get to this point. Penn State being one of them. How do you view their defense and where you all fit in as far as success being able to play that team?
Yeah, for sure. They're very active, especially on the back end. For us on the perimeter is going to be finishing blocks down the field and making plays down the field as well. They run a lot of man coverage like Georgia as well. So we're going to have to win those one-on-one matchups. They have, I'm sure y'all know, number 11 is a dude for them. They have a stout front seven as well. So it should just be a fun matchup in my opinion. They have guys that can make plays on the back end as well, so I'm excited.
Can you walk us through kind of what you saw in your touchdown play? Because it's at the end of the half, you know that you need to either catch it in the end zone or because you might need to use a timeout otherwise. Can you kind of take us through what you saw and how you adapted?
Yeah, for sure. So we got the turnover, and then as I'm running on the field, I can hear Coach Denbrock kind of saying what the play is going to be, and I'm like, oh shoot, I might get this ball here. And then when we lined up, it was a look that we wanted to get, especially we practiced the play a few times, and it was the exact look that we wanted, and I kind of knew I was getting it, so ran the route full speed, made a play on the ball.
It's probably the same play that you guys had success with Jaden Thomas against IU. Looked like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, similar.
Was that a tougher catch than it looked on TV?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It felt like the ball was in the air for 15 seconds, but it was a little bit harder. But I just had to, hang on tight to it once I hit the ground and things like that. It was easy catch for sure.
You guys are about to play Game 15. I guess
Yeah.
does it feel like that body-wise, and how are you kind of taking the recovery process?
Oh man, yeah. Especially for an older guy like myself, I'm definitely feeling some of the aches and pains now. But it's even more important for us to teach the young guys how to stay in the training room, stay in the cold tubs, hot tubs, things like that. And for myself, I'm definitely taking the time out of my days to, especially as school's out right now, just take extra 15, 30 minutes to do something to make sure my body's intact.
Well, at this point in your career, obviously, this is your last season.
Yeah.
Being able to be this part of football season, how more gratifying is it for you, that you're in this position and this team being able to make it this far after the stumbling maybe too?
Yeah, for sure. It's I couldn't ask for a better story, man. There's been teams like this in the past, we may have one loss early in the season and then make it all the way and things like that. But we're not done yet, man. That's hopefully we get to make it to the national championship, play in that game and win it all. But right now we're just focused on this week.
All right.
You and Jeremiah have had this great tandem this year, and you throw in Aeneas. Of course, they've got Singleton and Allen. Do you ever compare yourselves to the running backs of the other teams and kind of have, obviously you can't stop them, your defense has to stop them, but do you compare yourselves to those guys?
Honestly, every single game, every week, we compare ourselves to the other running back room. That's a challenge, even from Coach McCullough, he gives us, can you do a better job than the other room? So, yes, to your question, yes.
You bother to watch film on them at all? What are the strengths of Singleton and Allen?
I mean, yeah, when we're not, anytime we're not playing, I'm sitting on my couch watching them. They're pretty good, as well as, a few other guys in other teams. So, you do watch them and you're like, yeah, that's a challenge. Like, I'm gonna see what I can do next week,
All right, go ahead here, guys.
You talked about the offensive line's growth last week. They kind of took Georgia's will in the fourth quarter. I guess what was that like for you to kind of watch them do that at the end of the game?
Yeah, it was huge. Just showing what our offense and our culture is all about. Hard, gritty, physical football. And I don't know if y'all saw, but Pat Coogan pregame speech. That's what it's all about. He had us all fired up. I'm really proud of our O-line, and because those Georgia guys, that's a big front seven interior. So yeah, we held on against them.
And then what's just kind of your recovery routine throughout the week? Do you have like something set each day, or is it just kind of what you feel you need?
Yeah, pretty much what I feel. Rob Hunt and his staff do a great job. But with all the free time we have now, with not being in school anymore, I make sure that I'm getting as much recovery as I need and even more. So.
Jadarian, we always hear about watching film on the next opponent. Do you do an after-action review and look at your performance against Georgia, and what do you take out of that game?
Obviously, I feel like I could have did more. Any game, you feel like you can always do more. But the good thing about our victory we have another opportunity to do it. So I'm going to do everything I can to have a better performance next week.
So from a technical standpoint, what are you looking for when you're doing the after-action review? When you're looking at your performance, what are you looking at on tape?
Making sure I had the exact read that coach told us to read. Whether it's the D linemen or the linebackers. If I could have, if it was a better option to go vertical instead of bouncing it, or even the basics of the basics, like what could I have done better, like with my stiff arm, with my offhand, like things like that. So.
JD, I think I asked you this before. You guys went out and played Georgia, but how was the difference in getting hit by those guys, especially in the moment?
I mean, yeah, I'm still sore right now. But no, it was, I think it was a hard physical football game. Georgia had a pretty good defense, and Penn State's defense is just as good. So we got a challenge ahead.
What's the, mentally, where you at? How does it feel to be able to move to this point in the season? And obviously, it's a lot of back-to-back games. So how does it feel?
Yeah, this morning I woke up and I was like, man, we're really in the semifinal playoffs, college football, and it's big, it's surreal, but we're here, so we might as well do everything we can to prepare for our next opponent.
All right, we're going to go back to Zoom for one here. All right, Joe from Nittany Lion Sports. Go ahead, buddy.
Appreciate the time. So, last week, Penn State's defense did a really good job against Ashton Genty and didn't allow him to take over the game. Given that Genty is a guy, obviously, a lot of people thought should have won the Heisman Trophy, does the possibility of making a statement against Penn State fire you up even more, considering that was something Genty wasn't really able to do?
Not really. I mean, at the end of the day, football is a team sport. You need all 11 guys on offense to make, what Genty did all season possible. But, Ashton Genty is a great player. And I think with our offense, we may be able to do a little bit more against Penn State defense, so I'm really excited about that.
One more quick one? We good? Go ahead.
When you look at, I think you kind of talked about it already about the offensive line, but the growth of this team from running back's perspective, you guys didn't have the success you probably had in the other 12 games this season, 13 games this season. Even though you all were able to come out with a win, how did it feel not being able to have that production, but still able to, come out with a victory?
Yeah, like I said, whatever it takes to win. I mean, Riley Leonard had over 100 yards rushing, and that, our rushing offense is pretty good in the country, and that's because of me, Jeremiah, and also Riley Leonard. And so I think it makes it hard for other defenses, and at the end of the day, it makes it easier for us as running backs too when your quarterback can do what he does.
Had any future plans to be a motivational speaker?
No. Yeah, it's kind of just, it's a moment with the guys, and obviously it's 2025 now and everyone has their phones and recording it, but it's just a part of our pregame, and the guys buy into it, and it's really just a passionate moment for all of us. So it's been, obviously it's crazy now, but it's part of pregame, I guess.
What's been the reaction from your teammates? How did they, respond to it outside of that particular moment? They saying, hey, that helped us, we need more of that. Like, what's the reaction?
It's more just like, that's what we do every single game now. So, and we've been doing it since Texas A&M. So it's kind of just, it's what we do. And yeah, they've seen all the posts or whatever, and they've kind of been joking around with me a little bit of it. So it's funny now.
Yeah, it's going to be one in the trenches. Does that motivate you?
What's that?
They say it's going to be one in the trenches, the game between Penn State and Notre Dame.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that look like?
Absolutely. And it's been that way kind of the whole year, and we've been leaning on that, and that's a great motivator because we know this is a program that lives and dies on its O-line and its D-line. So that's been a point of emphasis all year, and it's another great opportunity to win up front, and they present a lot of big challenges for us. So we got to prepare and get ready for that.
Pat, was there a point where you felt you took Georgia's will in that game?
That last drive, starting on the -9 and having the ball for almost 8.5 minutes was pretty special. But still, they played their butts off too. So props to them for really never giving up as well. So we had to go earn it every snap, and Riley made an unbelievable play on that 3rd and 7, which really propelled us to keep that drive going. And but that was pretty special opportunity right there.
And then when you take one of their defensive linemen out to your bench through the sideline, is that like a statement? Like, is that something that the team can feed off of?
I wasn't trying to make a statement. I think I was just doing my job, and I knew I had a good grip on them, and just finished.
Pat, with it being, obviously this point of the season is win or go home, and how do you stay mentally locked into that type of mindset, knowing that everything's on the line every single game?
Yeah, I think it's a very competitive mindset, and that's what you kind of live for when you come here. When you come to a place like Notre Dame, you play for games like this. You play for games like Georgia. You play for games like Indiana in the first round of the playoffs, and you certainly play for games to get to the national championship. But we got an unbelievable opportunity on our hands coming up on Thursday, and we got to prepare for it. But it's kind of what you play for. It really is what you play for, and it's definitely what you come to Notre Dame for.
All right, we're going to go to Zoom for one here. Matt Fortuna, go ahead.
Hey, Pat, just curious, what went into you being the one to carry the American flag out before the game, and what did that mean to you?
Yeah, really special opportunity. Obviously, we were all part of a tragedy down there in New Orleans, and my condolences to everyone down there and the families that lost. Just terrible incident. But it was a really special opportunity, and I was honored to do it for the team. And it was kind of an idea. I think it was me and Rocco just talking we shared a room in the hotel, and then I went to Katie Lonergan and our equipment manager Bass, and kind of just asked if we can find one, and kind of got it approved and stuff like that. So that was really special, and obviously football is a game that can unite people in the midst of tragedy, no matter the color that they're wearing. So really special opportunity there.
All right, we got time for one more here if you guys got anything.
Are you practicing the next speech now that you know the whole world's watching?
No practice. It's never what it's been about. Never was for clicks. Never was to get it posted on Twitter or anything like that. So, it really is just a passionate part of pregame that we've been doing ever since Texas A&M. So, I don't really put that much thought into it.